Hey guys, so I'm sharing a cake that I made for a swap. This is the first time I've done a faux cake, and I'm actually having to handhold this because I can't get the right angle with my tripod. So I'm holding the camera, and hopefully you'll forgive me for the shakiness. The swap was for a Facebook group, and we were to make a three-tiered cake from boxes. So I chose some rounded square boxes. I actually started this project 3 times, and this is my 3rd attempt. The first 2, I had some boxes that were circular, and they were just not working out the way I wanted to do it. I was actually going to quote-unquote frost those boxes with a spackle, and it turned out where the spackle did look like frosting, but my frosting job didn't look very good. So had to nix that, and then I started to make my own boxes and decided those didn't work out right because the measurements weren't coming out correctly. And then I went back and bought new boxes and started over. So this is my result. I will kind of pan down and show you. My swap partner is Amy, and I have put her cake on one of these Michael's cake stands. I'm going to send her the cake stand because it's just a cardboard one, and you can take it apart. I think this is the same people who make the Craftsmith paper, because look at the pattern. This was in the bridal section, so it's pink and very shabby looking. It's actually, this is not gold here, it's more like a copper color, so yeah, and it's all on a Lazy Susan, so I can turn it around and show you all of the angles. So there is my card. It's just stuck in the band of the box. And this is kind of the front view of the cake here. And you'll see one of the other things about the swap is that the boxes should still open up. So my boxes are actually turned upside down. This is the lid of the box that you see on each one, and that is glued to the bottom, you know, to the box that's on the bottom. So to separate my cake, you just lift up that tier and it'll come right out of the lid, and there'll be some goodies inside for the recipient, for Amy. I used these flowers, fabric flowers from, I think these are from Hobby Lobby, these sprays, and then I had some green and white wheat sprays that I gotten from Vicky. She had purchased those from downtown LA for me some time ago. And then you see this sparkly trim right here. This is new at Hobby Lobby, and I hauled that a couple of days ago or a week ago. Well, actually, I don't know when Amy's going to get this box, but they had it at Hobby Lobby on sale when the gemstones were on sale, so I got them half price, and they had different colors. So I decided to use them like a fondant border, kind of around the edge of the lid of the box. And luckily enough, it's actually the same size or width as this lid here. There is also one on the top layer, but the lid was not the same size, and I didn't worry about it because I wanted to have an even band around the top too. For this particular tier, this is actually some trim that I had gotten, I think also from Vicky. If you look at it, it's sequins that are threaded together, and there are seed beads that are in there to look like flowers, and I just love the way that trim looks. You also notice this right here. This is a fondant type border. I used a fondant mold to make this, and caulking. And if you're interested in how I did that, at the end of this video I will insert a video clip of how this is done, but there is a technique that's out there for this. So after papering it, I went ahead and made the molds and then stuck the actual result to the paper using my Xyron. I ran this thing through my Xyron and then just stuck it down to the paper. Now, if you are wondering what paper this is, paper is from First Edition. It is one of the Tanya Whalen packs. I think it's Floral Pavilion that this came out of. And what I did was use 3 different patterns for the sides of the box, and then for the bottom of the box, I used the same piece of paper, which is a green polka dot with some roses. And if I look down on the cake, you can see it's the same. That brings it all together, you know, so that it kind of looks the same from the top. Because, you know, each paper pad only has, I think it's 2 or 3 sheets of the same design. And I don't know if I would have had enough to do, you know, all the sides in the same, you know, all of the tiers in the same thing. And I wanted some different, you know, different patterns. But I think the colors really are nice spring colors, which is the other thing I was thinking about. At the top of the cake, you can see the bird. That's from Michael's. And then the word love in script. And that actually is also from Hobby Lobby, the same place where I got the stickers for her card to spell out her name. So, same sprays. I just used hot glue for all of the flowers. And the actual flowers are only hooked to the band and the box here. So when you lift the tier up, it will come free. It doesn't, I can open the box up, and I will do that for you on camera so that you guys can see that it still opens up. And I painted the inside of the box white with some white gesso. And here you can see that lid was not exactly the same height as the trim that I used. But it works because you can't really, you know, you can't really tell that that's the case. I can't do this with one hand, can I? So, yeah. So that is my cake. And I hope Amy likes it. And I will just turn it around for you to see. I just put some bunches all the way around. I don't like it to be overly, you know, I don't know if this is overly decorated or not. But I think it really turned out to look like a cake that you might see at a party or a, you know, an event. And I hope she likes it. And I really enjoy doing this. This is my first time to do a cake, a faux cake. And I really enjoyed the challenge, even though I had to start it over 3 times. So that is my share, and thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, so I wanted to go ahead and show you how I created the cake border that I put on my faux cake for the swap. So this is actually one of the quote-unquote fondant pieces that I made from this mold that you see here. It's a cake mold or a fondant mold. And this is one of the pieces that I pulled out to make that strip that goes around the cake. What I used, and this was actually a video from Colleen, I believe her name is, 47CMC here on YouTube. She had shown first modeling paste and a couple of different tries, and then she also tried this Alex Fast Dry, which is actually acrylic latex caulk with silicone in it. It's not 100% silicone, so make sure that if you're going to buy or try this with the caulk, you use something that is not 100% silicone. So this is the container I bought at Home Depot. It's actually cheaper than buying the smaller bottle if you're going to be making a lot of them. And this is a caulk gun that my husband let me use to, you know, dispense it out. And then when I'm done, what I do is, because it's not fully empty, I just put a piece of packing tape around the whole nozzle and, you know, make sure that air cannot get in there so that it doesn't dry out. So you basically squirt this onto the mold, and once you do this, these were once food safe. These are not food safe anymore because this is caulk, you know. And you just put it in here and you spread it out very well. Make sure you have good coverage on the mold itself. And I've already cleaned this one up. I'll show you one that I have not cleaned up yet. Here is another one that I have made. The silicone is still, you can see it's still in the mold. And what I do is I clean this up with some rubbing alcohol after it has dried overnight. So normally you'll leave these in the mold for 24 hours, and the timing is going to depend on where you're located. Like if it's really cold, it's pretty much not going to dry up for you very quickly. So you might have to leave it in there longer, but I'd say our temperatures overnight are probably in the 50s and 60s now. And so my studio is pretty warm at night because it is insulated. So I just left these in for probably about 18 hours now. And you can then take some of the rubbing alcohol, put it on a paper towel, and just wipe where you have the haze or these. You can see it closely right here. You want to clean all of that up, all of this area where there's connecting pieces, so that you have a nice clear image just like this is, so that when you go to pull it out of the mold, it comes out easily and it's cleaned up. It looks nice and clean. Because you don't want to sit there and pick out the little pieces. I'm going to show you this one that's been unmolded. I did one earlier. So here's the piece. See, it looks like a real doily, and it's not delicate. You can fold it in half. It's not going to tear unless you pull it, but you could see here, if you look in between the webs here, I didn't clean it as well as I should have. And if I had done so, I wouldn't have these little pieces still, showing up there. But it's still a beautiful piece. This is a cheap alternative to buying doilies. These fondant molds are not cheap though. So, but you can get, I don't know, a lot of use out of them. And it's cheaper than buying some lace too. And it's lighter. This is really light. You can actually bend it, just like you would fabric. So the other thing I wanted to show you is me pulling it from the mold so that you can actually see how easy it is. I started it here, and look, it's coming out on its own. These are silicone molds. And all you got to do is make sure, see, like this one right here where it's got a little piece hanging out, you want to pry that out with your hand. You don't want to just pull the whole thing. But as you're doing it, it comes out pretty easily. I'm kind of just like rolling the fondant mold away from the silicone itself, or the caulk. And what I do is, after I clean it up, I let it dry for a little while longer. I don't just immediately remove it, because I don't want that wet alcohol to affect the silicone in any way. So I just want to make sure it just dries out some more. So you can see how easy it is to pull it away. It's not gonna fall apart. Like if you to use modeling paste, which is it's more expensive than buying silicone caulk. Modeling paste is like, I don't know, $15 a bottle, maybe. Even with a coupon, it's not as cheap as buying that whole tube of silicone. That tube of silicone was $3 at Home Depot. I don't think you can get modeling paste that cheap for this. And it's not as flexible as this is. This is a nicer, to me, it's a nicer thing to work with, because I tried them both. And you can see here, I'm just, just giving it a gentle pull as I'm talking to you and rolling away the mat. And then I would just clean up the mat with some rubbing alcohol again to get all of the little pieces out, so that the next time I want to use the fondant, the silicone mat, I can use it without having to, worry about any little outstanding things. So this is how I went about making these pieces, and it really does look like fondant. So I'm really happy with the result. You guys can see how much detail is in there. And like I said, I'm not, you don't have to be real gentle, but look, I can handle it. I can, you want to keep this in a container maybe, and not scrunch it up, because it will wrinkle. And if it stays in that position, it'll stay like wrinkled. So I've actually kept this one out lying flat, because these are the two pieces that I'm going to use to go around the cake fondant, or go around the cake.